welcome back to another episode of Pirate Sports Talk with Doug and Mike. I'm your host, Doug Santelli.
And as Doug would say, I'm the co-host, Mike Frieder.
Yeah?
How we doing, Doug?
I'm doing pretty good.
Outstanding. It's been a while.
Yes, it has been.
Right. We got definitely spring sports to talk about.
We do, and I'm sorry that there was no episode last week. I had some family matters to take care of.
Family first, we always say.
Yes, sir. So that's why there was no episode, but really there was nothing really to talk about. There was nothing starting up besides the boys losing to Sussex Hamilton for basketball.
Yep, great season the boys had, but we're going to talk spring sports today, aren't we?
Yeah, I set to finish up with talking about the boys basketball, and then we can move on to spring.
Great.
All right, so the boys made it to the sectional for basketball. They lost to Sussex Hamilton 59-49.
I was at that game.
Yeah, and did you see your statue?
I did not see my statue. It was taken down, I think, for cleaning purposes.
Probably. Oh, it was cleaning? Okay.
Right. That's what I was thinking.
Maybe they're putting gold-plated on
Probably now that I've been back a few times.
Yeah. So they lost that on March 8th, and then they finished the season in first in the conference with 20 wins and 5 losses. And also, I just want to say good job to all the seniors that are leaving this year. So that'll be Cordell Tinch, Jack Plum, who got Player of the Year and his Dolphins point against Notre Dame.
Yes, he did.
Lucas Lemieux, Alec Nagel, Ian Melcher, Kay Johnson, D-Lan Phillips, Carson Schrader, Garrett Maroon, and Isaac Krause and Daniel King.
Let's not forget about Fugues and Malcolm Jerks, the managers, 2 seniors. So shout out to them as well.
Yes. All right, now we can get into the spring sports. All right, so we're going to start off with the boys baseball. So they're going to be headed down to Florida next week.
Correct, though most of them will be leaving probably Saturday, flying down to Florida, or some driving down there to have their spring training, as they call it.
Are you going down there?
I am not. First year in a number of years because my boys no longer play baseball, so I will not be traveling down there. So I'll be looking for their baseball Twitter to keep us updated on how they're doing. They'll be playing some games down there this year, says practice has started this week. So they'll have a chance to go down there and play some teams from around the country, and we'll look forward to hearing how they do and report back probably right after break about their success on their spring training trip.
Yeah, absolutely. Is Chris going to go down there and broadcast games?
I don't think Mr. Learman will be down there broadcasting games. I don't think Whitney would let him actually go.
Really?
That's not my thoughts.
It could be another honeymoon. No, it could be the first honeymoon.
But you can't have the honeymoon before the wedding.
Well, you could.
You could. Traditionally, that's not the way it works.
It's the pregame honeymoon.
Could be the pre-wedding honeymoon, followed by the post-wedding honeymoon. But I don't think he plans on going.
Are we still going to do the wedding on the radio?
That's still the plan.
Awesome. I'm looking forward to that.
That should be outstanding. I don't think a wedding has ever been done over the internet.
I wonder where we're going to stand in the church.
Probably right up by them. I would think that's what I'm thinking, like just off to the side there so they know we're there. Just in case we want a candid interview.
Just got to be quiet, too.
Right. We have to have our inside voices. Like in kindergarten, you have your inside voice, outside voice. We have to go inside voice.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Exactly.
And then when she says yes.
Then we go crazy.
Oh, absolutely.
If she says yes.
I think she'll say yes.
No, she's going to have a choice to make.
That's true.
That's right.
All right. Last year, the Pirates in baseball, they finished third in the conference with 11 wins and 7 losses. And Preble went undefeated last year. They went 18-0.
Preble had a very good team last year, very strong pitching team, and they won the sectional advance to the state tournament. And this real strong team. And they'll probably bringing back a real good team again this year.
All right. Who do you think is going to be the number one player for Bayport this year on the boys' baseball?
That's a good question. I think high school baseball pretty much focuses around pitching, like all baseball teams do. I think in high school it's even more important. And so usually your most valuable player many times is that pitcher who is going to go out there every third game and get you a good start and a win. So you have to look at a kid like Stephen Nagy. Stephen is a very good pitcher. He's had some health problems before, some physical things. But I think he'll be a key probably to the Bayport success this year. And then see who steps up to be the other pitchers in that rotation. But I think he kind of leads the pack there. And then you got Bobby Telot, who's thrown a little bit. And then after that, I think there'll be a number of people who will get a chance to pitch, whether that's Stanzilla or whether that's Shaq or whether that's Jake Hebert. And I'm sure there are others that I'm not even aware of. But right now, I think Stephen Nagy, if he can have a big year, the Pirates will be in good shape.
I think he will. I think he will have a big year. He's been talking about baseball. He's really pumped, so I think he will. You can watch their first home game a Tuesday, April 3rd against Merrill at 4:30.
Right here at Bayport?
Yeah,
We'll probably be doing that game on NEW Sports Radio, I bet.
awesome.
Assuming the weather permitting, because right now, if you look outside, we're not playing any baseball right now. But
No,
hopefully, with a couple warm days, we'll be ready to go.
that's how we go down to Florida.
Correct. That's why they go down to Florida.
All right, and then we'll go on to the golf. They finished third in the conference with 70 and a half points. Notre Dame finished first with 73 and a half points. So I think Notre Dame's going to be a good golfing team this year too.
Yeah, I think Bayport's going to be the team to beat in the FRCC. Jed Baranchek will lead that pack. Jed's a very focused kid when it comes to golf, great young man, and he can play the game. And so it'll be interesting to watch them this year. Mr. Bookinger, great coach, does a great job with that group, and I think they'll have a great year. And probably with the hopes of returning to the state tournament again this year, which I would assume that'll happen at University Ridge in Madison.
Yeah, and then we'll have Mr. Bookinger on. He said maybe in the middle of April or the beginning of May.
That'd be awesome.
So I think I'm looking forward to having him on. And then their first meet or game is at Wander Springs Golf Course against West Appear.
You call that a match?
Match.
Golf match. Just a little tidbit of information there for you, Doug.
Well, thank you. All right, we'll go on to girls soccer.
Great team.
You want to add?
The girls soccer team coming off a state championship performance last year, lost in the state championship game, and they bring back a lot of young players, and they should be really exciting to watch. And I know that we're going to do a few games on NEW Sports Radio, and they've got some very good young players and some veteran players. And so that team is a team that I think they're expecting to compete for a state championship. Obviously a conference championship, but after losing in a state championship, I think that group will be very hungry. A lot of those girls played basketball this year, so they've gained even more experience. And so they will be a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, and then also with playing basketball, they've grown leg strength too.
Correct.
So for running.
Bigger, stronger, faster, as we call it.
All right, they were first in the conference last year with 8 wins and 1 tie with 17 points. Notre Dame was tied for first along with Bayport, and then their next home game is Tuesday, April 10th against Appleton East at 6:30 p.m.
Yeah, come on out and watch the girls soccer team this year if you're listening. They're going to be really good, and sometimes soccer teams don't get a lot of support, maybe like a football team might, just crowd-wise, but if you want to see a great team, that's a team to watch this year.
I will definitely check that out. All right, then we'll go on to the softball. Bayport finished first in the conference with 16 wins and 2 losses.
Great team. They should be very good again this year. We talked about pitching in baseball, and Sid LaPointe Sid the Kid, as she's been called, will take the mound and really be our leader on the mound this year. And in girls softball, it's a little bit different than baseball because one pitcher can pitch every game. And
Sure.
so she'll go out there and take the ball a number of times and probably do a real good job for us. She'll be the person that we count on. Baseball's a little bit different. You might get a start once a week or
Sure.
maybe twice a week. And so softball is definitely a pitching game. Bayport should be very, very tough in the FRCC this year.
Noah, who do you think is the biggest hitter on the girls team?
That's a good question. I'll have to look that one up. I'll come back next week. But our first baseman, and I'll get her last name wrong, but Euclid, I think it is, is quite a hitter. And so I'll take a look at that a little closer and come back after break.
All right. Their first home game is Monday, April 2nd against GB East at 4:30, and then they have a 4-game homestand.
Right here at Bayport, because
Yeah.
that's where the home field would be.
Correct.
That's why we call it a home stand.
Right.
Exactly.
All right, and that game's at 4:30. I think I mentioned that, but I'll just say it again. Boys tennis finished fourth in the conference with 6 wins and 3 losses. GB South went undefeated with 9 wins.
Yeah, I think our boys team, that'll be interesting to see. They'll be solid again like they always are. Might be some injury situations right now going on with them that we're not aware of or might be aware of here coming up. But I think the tennis team will be solid like they always are, and they'll compete to be in the top half of that conference.
All right, and then their first home game is Tuesday, April 10th against Green Bay Preble at 4 p.m. So that's right here at Bayport.
Right here. 8 tennis courts. That's how
Awesome.
many tennis courts we have, Doug. Did you know
Yeah,
that?
I thought, just the ones in the back
Yeah,
there.
but there's 8 of them.
Oh.
Another bit of trivia that you
The first I heard.
that you weren't aware of. 8
I haven't been on
tennis courts.
the tennis courts
Well,
at all.
we'll have to
So
go back there and check out a match.
let's go.
Okay.
All right, and then we'll go with the girls track and field. They went first in the conference meet with 132.5 points. The girls had their first home track meet on Tuesday, actually, against De Pere and GB West.
And we won that one. Indoor meet. Got
Awesome.
the victory here at Bayport High School. And like always, our boys and girls team will compete for a conference championship. We have a very, very good pole vaulter in Mabry. And we also have Cordell Tinch, obviously, on the boys' side. And so
Right.
that probably the girls and boys will be led by those two. And it should be a great season.
Absolutely. I think it will be, especially with the boys having Cordell Tinch.
Cordell's a dominating athlete,
He is.
track athlete of the year last year as a junior, and would expect nothing short of that this year from Cordell.
All right, and then the girls have their next home meet on Thursday, April 5th against Green Bay Southwest and GB West, Notre Dame, and Pulaski.
Should be fun to watch. Should be a great spring season. We had such a great winter season.
Oh, yeah,
with
of course.
wrestling winning the conference championship and swimming winning the conference championship.
And the swimming got 3 years in a row for conference champs.
Correct, boys basketball win the conference championship. Girls basketball was 4 conference championships in the winter. So that's a high bar for the spring sports to bring their level of play up to. But I think they'll do that, and we're gonna have a great spring season.
I think this is the best winter season we had.
Well, you can't get much better than 4 out of 5 conference victories.
Correct.
You
And
could,
yeah.
because that'd be 5 out of 5.
But the hockey team.
Hockey team played well at the end of the year.
Yeah,
Came
well,
on
they came in
strong.
4th.
They did.
So, but they came on strong. They went to the sectionals for hockey.
Because you are the voice of the hockey team, Doug.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So you probably know more about Bayport hockey than anybody around.
Well, besides Chris, too.
Well, tied. I'd
Sure,
probably
yeah.
say. So we'll see what happens with spring sports, but it should be a great spring.
All right, and then the boys finished second in the conference last year with 121.5 points, and then Preble had 192.5 points in that track meet on May 16th.
It's always a battle between Preble and Bayport usually in track, and I expect it to be no different this year.
It seems like on spring sports that Preble and Bayport are kind of like right there.
Yeah, I'd say softball, that's probably definitely the case almost every year. It's definitely that way in baseball now with Preble's program becoming much stronger. It's been that way in track for a long time. And in tennis, Notre Dame is always real difficult to beat in boys tennis. And so we'll see what this year brings.
All right. And then the boys had a meet on Tuesday as well. And then their next meet is Thursday with a Southwest, West, Notre Dame, and Pulaski coming in. So
Should be exciting.
We'll see what happens then, and we'll have a report back.
After spring break, we won't report next
Right.
week, will we, Doug? Are
No.
we going to come in and maybe have our own show next week?
We could if you wanted to.
I'll be around,
We could.
so let me know.
We could have a longer show.
I'm not exactly sure what we would talk about since no teams are going to be playing over spring break.
I don't know.
We could just talk about stuff.
Well, we could talk about stuff going here on Bayport, and then we could get some Twitter feedback from down in
Baseball,
Florida.
possibly. We'll keep
We
Pirate
could have
Nation.
Chris come on too.
We could have Chris. We'll keep Pirate Nation posted. Maybe Chris could come on and talk about the broadcasting that's going to be going on in the spring.
Awesome. Yeah, maybe
All right.
have people join him for whatever sport he's having
Let's
on.
do it. Let's do it.
Sounds good. I'll let you know.
Let me know.
All right, that's all the time we have here on Pirate Sports Talk with Doug and Mike. We'll see you later.
Have a great spring break, everybody.